In this lesson, we'll create a basic sketch. After completing this lesson, you'll be able to create a new sketch, create sketch entities, and edit a sketch. In Fusion 360, we're going to start with a new untitled document. I also want to note that in the data panel, I'm working inside of my Intro to ME and MFG project, and I've created a new subfolder called Sketching and Modeling. I'm going to be inside the Sketching and Modeling folder and then hide my data panel. When we get started, I want to note that our document settings by default are going to be metric. If we want to make any adjustments to the defaults, we can make the change on the fly here by setting our units to another unit system and setting them as default, or by going into your user preferences. We're going to leave this file as metric. We've already taken a look at several things in Fusion 360 up to this point, but now we want to get a little bit more into the details of how we can perform several different types of operations. The first thing that we want to look at is creating a sketch. To create a sketch, you need a plane or a planar face. Since we don't have any geometry, we're going to start by creating a new sketch. This can be done a few different ways. If we expand our origin folder and even show the origins, you can see the default planes that we have: YZ, XY, and XZ. If these are hidden, when we select the Create Sketch icon, they'll automatically be displayed for us. I'm going to hit Escape on the keyboard and I'm going to explore a few different ways which we can create a new sketch. First, we can pre-select a plane, such as XZ. Then we can right-click and select Create Sketch. We can also select the Create Sketch option from Solids, Surfaces, or Sheet Metal. When we select Create Sketch, we'll be prompted to select a plane for that, or if we have geometry, a planar face. I'm going to hit Escape on the keyboard. We can also create construction planes. These will allow us to define new planes at different locations. For example, an offset plane from one of the default planes. Another option we have is to right-click. When we right-click, notice that currently I don't see a Create Sketch. The Repeat Create Sketch at the 12 o'clock position is showing the last used command. However, if we pre-select a plane, such as XZ, then I right-click, I'll have the option to create a sketch because this is contextual. It's going to be based on our selection. The last thing that we can do is we can start a new sketch by activating a sketch tool. If we take a look at a feature tool such as Extrude, when I select Extrude, it's asking for a sketch profile, and it doesn't automatically prompt us to create a sketch. However, if we use the right-click marking menu, and we go down to our sketch options at 6 o'clock, and we pick an option such as 2-point rectangle, this will automatically prompt us to select a plane. These are many different ways in which we can start a new sketch. In general, we're going to be using the Create Sketch option that's located on the toolbar or by pre-selecting a face or a plane. Once we're inside of a new sketch, we're currently on the rectangle tool because that is the feature I selected. This can also be selected from our Create dropdown under Rectangle and by selecting one of the options. No matter which option you select, you'll get those options available inside of the sketch palette. And for us, we're going to be using the Center Point Rectangle option. We're going to select the origin and simply drag down and to the right. We're not going to apply any dimensions to this sketch, we're simply going to left-click to place the sketch. We're still on our rectangle tool, so let's go ahead and select the origin again and place a second rectangle. We'll left-click, and once we're done with the rectangle tool, we can hit Escape on the keyboard, or we can right-click and either hit OK or Cancel. Again, once you get comfortable with the marking menu, using that option can be very quick to just simply drag to the right or left to escape, or drag up to the 12 o'clock position to repeat the last command. Again, I'm going to use Escape on the keyboard. From here, I'm going to finish the sketch. Now we have a Sketches folder with sketch number 1. If I want to make any adjustments to my sketch, I can right-click on it in the browser and select Edit Sketch. I can double-click on it in the timeline, or I can also right-click on it in the timeline and select Edit Sketch. Or we can generally click on items inside of the canvas area, in this case our sketch, and select Edit Sketch. From here we can make any adjustments needed, such as taking a look at snapping the corner of this rectangle to the corner of the other rectangle. While these are still underdefined, they still need dimensions or constraints to fully define them. We have now created a constraint between the corner position of the inside rectangle. From here, we're going to carry on with other files, so you don't need to save this untitled document, but feel free to continue playing around with it, making sure that you're comfortable getting into and out of sketches.